Well, the Leafs lose 4-3 to the Boston Bruins, but at least it was close. What year is it?
Let's go!
Give me what I want!
Kick down the door!
Drew, you are not doing this!
Not nice!
There's a giant head!
You hear yourself?
I made like 2,000 of these. I'd like to have fun.
With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR.
Leafs! Oh, we were close to the fist bump. We were close. We were really close, but we didn't get the fist bump. Leafs lose 4-3 in regulation. 0 points. How many? None. To the Boston Bruins in January, so it doesn't matter. You know, that's how a lot of people are looking at this. It's in January, so it doesn't matter. The regular season doesn't matter. Ultimately, what was at stake in this game? I mean, the Boston Bruins are still in first. Leafs are still in the top 5. At the end of the day, the Leafs and Lightning are playing each other in the first round, barring a miracle. And with the Toronto Maple Leafs, there could be a miracle, you know? There really could be. In a good way, or more likely, an extraordinarily bad way. Not because they're bad, but because they are dark, evil magic! But hey, let me get this out of the way before I continue with my rant. Think you know which way it's gonna go? Like a Boston Bruins fan on a Leafs game day? Then head to Sports Interaction. Sports Interaction has you covered when the puck drops, pre-game, live betting on all major sports, and prop bets. Thank you. Want to bet? Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. That's sportsinteraction.com/SDPN. And now they have an app. It's 19 plus. Please play responsibly. Responsibly! Dude! You know, okay. There's one taker energy here, and I gotta do it. Because this was a very fun game. We all got our money's worth. Entertaining game. And at the end of the day, like, Steve, are you seriously? You save one takers for special occasions. You save one takers for when the team is unforgivably crap. They weren't unforgivably crap in this one. They weren't. They weren't even bad. They were probably the best. They were probably the second best team in this game. Yeah. They were outplayed. Yeah. But you don't gotta be bad to be outplayed. You gotta give the Bruins their due. You gotta give the Bruins their due. They were great in this game. Legitimately great. Great hockey team. They were way better than the Leafs in the first. They outshot them into oblivion. What was it, 15-5, 16-5? And yet, it was the Leafs who scored first. But there was fun before that even. It looked like the Bruins were going to run the Leafs show from the moment the puck dropped, and then the Bruins get a great opportunity. Charlie Coyle gets it over to Brad Marchand. Robbed! Absolutely robbed by the glove of Matt Murray. And then there's a fight at center ice between Wayne Simmons and Nick Foligno, 2 former teammates. They're laughing and smiling and exchanging, like, I don't know, texts with words. God, I'm broken. They were just being friends during an actual fist fight. It was great. It was everything that a game in Boston should be. But the Leafs were getting outplayed. And they did get a miraculous save from Murray. They can't waste it. Charlie McAvoy takes a penalty. That's a gift. You can't waste it. And they don't. They don't. Great feed from John Tavares. Nice little hook pass to Michael Bunting, the 5-man power play unit. And he buries it. Big Sally. The Leafs are up 1-0. Then what? Mitch Marner almost makes it 2-0. Almost. This was visually very funny. A lot of fans were upset about it, and maybe you should be upset about it, but you can't deny that it was visually hilarious. Linus Ullmark does like what Apu from The Simpsons does to protect the Quickie Mart. Like that was what a dive. What an unbelievable dive across. Wow, it was such a majestic dive that I didn't even realize in real time that he yeeted his stick half the distance, half the width of Massachusetts, through everything, and the puck goes the other way. And Bergeron is applying pressure, and he's all around it. And then, guess what? Goal. He scores, because he's wide open in front, and it's just a tap in, and he doesn't even celebrate because the job's not done, because the Boston Bruins are ice cold. Now, can you be upset about Linus Ullmark throwing his stick? Yeah, I think you can. I think a lot of Bruins fans, and I think they even said on the broadcast, well, he threw it by accident. He was just trying to make a save. All right, fine. Still threw it. Last I checked, you're not allowed to do it. I would be more upset about it if it was very obviously the only reason that puck didn't go in. To me, it wasn't. And other than that, it's just another missed call. And we will get to that later. I'm going to go with it's not the worst. You're not allowed to do it. You're still not allowed to do it, but it's not the worst. All right, so it's tied. After one, it's tied. And at the end of it, you look at the body of work, right? You look at the body of work there. Morgan Rielly with the turnover, by the way. I was like, someone turned it over. Morgan Rielly turned it over on the first goal. But other than that, you look at the body of work. The Leafs got their show run by the Boston Bruins in the first period in Boston, number one team in the league, and you go into the second period with it tied 1-1. That is a good result. So what happens next? Pierre Engvall end-to-end rush goes through everybody and snipes it on the dude who might win the Vezina Trophy this season. How often can you count on that? Keep that in the back of your mind. Now it's 2-1 Leafs. What happens next? Connor Timmins, in the biggest game of his life, arguably, in his NHL career, he gets an opportunity next to Morgan Rielly. Come on! You were up, what was it, a -6 in like 10 games with the Tucson Roadrunners like 2 months ago, and now you're playing with Morgan Rielly on a top 5 team in the league. And I've been championing him and cheering for him and rooting for him and talking about how he needs to be in the lineup every game because that is how he has played. And then, in the offensive zone, he makes an errant pass. You might say to David Pastrnak, I say he made an errant pass to the press box. Worst game of his NHL career, and this is definitely the worst play as a Leaf. Gives it away. Pasta makes no mistake. It's Pasta 2-2. So then what happens? Puck goes the other way. The Bruins are attacking. The Bruins are putting on pressure. Why not? Why not? It's Rielly and Timmins out there again. They are getting eaten alive. They put the puck through Timmins' legs. You can put this one on Murray. You'd like Murray to have it. It probably shouldn't have beaten him. It beat him because it went through Timmins' legs. I don't think he was able to track it. And the Bruins have their first lead of the game. There it is. There it is. They get their first lead of the game. What are they going to do? What are the Leafs going to do? Are the Bruins just going to clamp down on them and hold them tight like an anaconda, like a boa constrictor? No! Nice and early in the third period, Sheldon Keefe makes a nice little adjustment. Matthews with Marner and Bunting, little adjustment, and they create magic on their first shift together. Marner gets it to Bunting, gets it to Matthews. Gross! Soft, despicable hands beating Linus Ullmark. He gives it to the TD Garden crowd because he doesn't even care. It doesn't look like he missed a beat after missing the last 2 games, and the Leafs tie it. Rest of the third period, it is a clash of the Titans. It is 2 epic Rams, mountain goats going head to head over and over and over again. And one has the high ground and one has the low ground, and none of them back down. And then they switch and none of them back down. And they keep colliding and colliding and colliding. And the final 5 minutes arrive, and the Bruins sure seem to have the high ground more often. And 4 minutes, and oh boy, 3 minutes, and oh boy, 2 minutes, and they're on the verge of scoring a goal here. As the Leafs calm it down, everyone's trying to go for a line change by the looks of it. The Tavares line, the new look Tavares line, wasn't good enough. Sheldon Keefe's got to be able to do his job. Okay? He's got to be able to make adjustments with his team. He's got to look at this top 6 and say, you know what? We have the depth to do this. Tavares, by and large, I thought had a good game. Yarncroke, by and large, had a good game. Nylander, by and large, had a good game. That unit stunk for the very brief period that they were together. The Bruins ate them alive. And then, what causes the inevitable game-winning goal, or the eventual game-winning goal? I said inevitable. It's against the Bruins. Freudian slip. Tavares turns it over. And it's a totally unnecessary turnover. He didn't need to. Doesn't matter. He turned it over. It really super doesn't matter. He turned it over. Bruins hold on to it. Bruins working around. Matt Grzelcyk, who had one goal. Dude, if you're a defenseman with virtually no or literally no goals, play the Leafs. I don't get it, dude. I do not get it. But Grzelcyk throws a knuckler on. Matt Murray tries to argue that David Krejci got his glove. Sheldon Keefe doesn't even review it. He looks furious because he ought to be. And the Leafs lose. So, how do we take this? You know what? It's January. It's regular season. It's the third game in 4 nights for the Leafs. And the first 2 didn't even have Matthews. That's tough. That's tough. Tight game against Boston. They were really close. And you know what? We'll get them next time. And you wonder how a dog can go their whole life having the same meal for every meal and think it's delicious. We have no right to judge them if our takeaway from this game is that outcome is okay. Again, I'm not saying the Leafs, who are great, legitimately great, are a bad team. They are taking goodness and refusing to make it greatness. And I hate saying this. You can send it to all your Bruins fans friends. All your Bruins fan friends who see this are going to send it to you. But the Boston Bruins are greatness. And the Leafs have been getting lessons in their greatness over and over and over again. This is not the Leafs' first 4-3 defeat at the hands of the Boston Bruins, by the way. 2013, 2018, 2019, and guess what? If you happen to beat Tampa in the first round, Tampa, you will likely have the privilege to get another lesson in greatness in the second round with the Boston Bruins. Aren't you so excited? What happened in this game? Marchand, Bergeron, Pasternak, they were all great, as they always are. But there were shenanigans after the whistle every single time. One of the Bruins' tougher guys makes one of the Leafs players do something that may end up getting them suspended. Michael Bunting with the kick that was accidentally on purpose on Trent Frederick. If you think the Allmark stick thing was accidentally on purpose, what do you think of this Bunting thing? I'm wondering. And the Bruins are the better team at the very end when it matters most. 10 years you've been getting the same lesson, and you heard but you didn't hear. You saw but you didn't see. And at the end of the day, these are the monsters that you run into in the playoffs. Tampa, Boston, Washington when they won the President's Trophy, and even when it's Montreal, for crying out loud. A 3-1 lead, for crying out loud. And the Blue Jackets, and I know you're cringing right now, and you're like, Steve, are you really rehashing this? It's the same thing. Imagine Bergeron turning it over with $1:30 to go, and the other team comes the other way, scores, and that's the game. Doesn't happen. But John Tavares, who was generally good over the course of the game, was not good enough in the final 5 minutes. Morgan Rielly and Connor Timmins were bad. It's as simple as that. No, it's always someone. It's always someone. In 2017, it was Martin Marincin. And in 2018, it was Jake Gardiner. And on and on and on. And this past playoff, it was Justin Hall, and you can make an argument for also Alexander Kerfoot. It's always someone. Who was the worst player on the 2011 Boston Bruins? No one knows or cares. I bet a bunch of you know. But you don't care. Their name's on the cup. They have got to find a way to be the best team in the game in the final 5 minutes. In the final minute. This is who you always run into. You run into greatness. As greatness. And you come up the second greatest. The playoff format, I don't care. There is a very realistic scenario where the Leafs could finish second in the league, finish 10 points out of first in the division, and end up second in the division. And they got to play probably Tampa. Cry about it! It's January! Playoffs start in April. They're not changing it now. They're not! Scrums after the whistle. The Bruins were mean. And the what? It's like a decade and a half of that brand! Figure it out! It's always the same. Study. Listen, the 3 games in 4 nights thing, that's legit. That's legit. Because you don't have that in the playoffs. And if you do, the other team that you're playing has it too. Okay. So some of the Leafs were sick. That's true. Bobby McMahon wasn't available. Pontus Holmberg, how important is he to the bottom 6? When he's out of the lineup, it screws up 2 lines. Aston Reese having to come up, Kerfoot going down, playing a different position. Screws up 2 lines when he's out. Guys get sick, and we know at least a few of the guys on the team aren't 100%. And I got news for you. Other than the 3 games in 4 nights, when the playoffs begin, guys get hurt. That's true. Guys get sick. That's true. And the games start at 7! The schedule has no soul. It has no remorse. It has no empathy. It doesn't care. I don't even have advice or a wish list for what I wish the Leafs would do differently. I simply want them to get over the hump. And this is a rant that doesn't have an end goal other than to vent frustration, and hopefully I channeled some of that for you. And if that was good enough, roof. I don't know what to tell you. 4-3 in Boston. Did it have to be 4-3 in Boston? That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends this was the midterm. You got lots of time left until the final. Let this be the wake-up call. Don't just be good. Don't even be great. Be the best.